Well, Marlon, congratulations, captain of Portsmouth Football Club. How does it feel to hear those words?
Yeah, obviously really pleasing. I mean, I won't bore everyone with kind of like an echo of the comments when I signed, but I think obviously the fans know, everyone knows obviously my affiliation with the club, what it means to me, and to be actually, obviously I know I led the team on numerous occasions last year, but to be named officially club captain of the team you supported as a kid, yeah, I mean it's a real big moment in my career, and obviously also for my family members as well.
What do you think 6-year-old Marlon Pack would make of this news?
I think you always, everyone has dreams and aspirations as kids, and you probably don't look into it as deep as kind of how far I've got. But yeah, of course, it was the club that I wanted to play for as a kid, and I've lived the dreams of most kids from Portsmouth, and they've when you come from Portsmouth and live in Portsmouth, you grow up wanting to play for Portsmouth, and you end up supporting Portsmouth. So yeah, like I said, I didn't even think I'd be able to play for the club, let alone captain it.
The gaffer broke the news to the squad yesterday in a short meeting. How nice of a moment was that for you?
Yeah, really great, and I think it's probably how you were there. You've seen what the gaffer's been about since he's come in, and it's probably how he's trying to shape the culture and environment a little bit since he's come in, and yeah, caught me off guard a little bit in how he done it, but also a really nice touch to do it in front of obviously my teammates and all the staff here. So yeah, really nice, and obviously they presented me with a shirt as well.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that shirt. 600 appearances, football appearances for you.
Yeah.
How nice was that moment as well? Sort of being, just knowing that it's being sort of highlighted, your achievements, your career achievements.
Yeah, just obviously kind of repeating on what I just said. I think you would have seen it around the training ground a lot. We've had a few milestones at the club, and I think that's what we're all about. Obviously, not just because it was me, but there's been some real stalwarts of the club. Someone like Kev, who I've known since a kid, and Ash, who does a lot of the nitty gritty stuff in the background. Not many of the fans or other people that are not in the club would see, but these are people that are the bread and butter of football clubs and the real backbones. And us as players unfortunately come and go, but these are the people that will stay there forever and really have bleed blue and love Portsmouth. So like I said, it's kind of, you get that feeling of what the gaffer, Rich and everyone else and even us now as players are trying to maybe bring back a little bit to this football club.
Yeah, we've spoken multiple occasions about those members of staff and those people that make this football club what it is. How important is it for you, not just as captain, but just as a player, as a person, to have those relationships with those people? And what do they do for you?
Ultimately, when you talk about team, they are the team. They're the team behind the team, and what they do on a daily basis, will have an effect on what we do on a Saturday. And it doesn't go unnoticed from us. And like I said, it's definitely going to be a conscious effort, like we've spoke about, of highlighting those kind of unsung heroes in the group. And I think we are getting better at that. They're a vital cog in what we do, and we know as a group what they mean to us and what they do on a daily basis. And rightly so, when they hit these milestones, they should be recognised. But we've got some fantastic people at the football club, and one of the great things of me coming back was seeing all the old faces. And I returned after 12 years, but still seeing people that I would have been here with as a kid, still working at the football club. And like I said, that will continue to be the case.
Just going back to yesterday when you found out, you gave a short speech to the lads and the staff. Could you just brush over your message to them for us?
Yeah, like I said, the gaffer caught me off guard a little bit in the approach in which he'd done it. So I wish I had something a little bit more well prepared, a little bit like this interview. So I didn't need to go into the details of what this club means to me and being a local boy. But obviously we spoke about being a year where everything's kind of fallen in place. It's 125th year. for me, being 32, is, realistically, it's going to be an opportunity for me probably to get back in the Championship for the last time, and to do that I need to get promoted within this club. So a little bit on promotion, which obviously we always talk about, I suppose, every off season, and this what will be the foundation if we go and be successful this year. And also just talking about obviously the new members of the group, how great it was to interact with the new lads last week, obviously back in Portsmouth, but how vital it is for us to get to know each other a little bit better. Obviously we spend a lot of time in each other's pockets in these trips, and that's why they're so great. Like I said, these are the foundations of, if you go and be successful, because it's when you live in each other's pockets, you get to know someone a little bit better. Obviously you've seen the kind of the intensity to the session, the physical stuff, picking each other up when it's hard, and that's why these training camps are great, because like I said, you get to know people not just on the pitch, and on off it as well, which I think is just equally as important.
A word you mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
culture.
Yeah.
And something you just alluded to there, picking everyone up when it's getting hard. There was footage from a video the other day where you're encouraging Christy and Sadie.
Yeah.
How important is that for you, and how much do you want to sort of implement that culture in the group?
I think generally we've got the group that does that anyway, so not just me as a captain, we've got quite a few leaders. People are leaders in different, they have different attributes to be a leader, so some will lead vocally, some will lead in probably their professionalism, what they do on a day-to-day basis. But like I said, it is creating a team. We want, ideally, we want to create a team of leaders where we are driving each other on when it gets tough. We are picking each other up, we are being positive, and also we're being honest with each other. And I think they are key ingredients to a successful team.
You've mentioned it there about being a leader on and off the pitch.
Yeah.
That's been you for this past season since your arrival last summer. But what do you think will differ with you having the armband and having the title of captain?
Generally, like in how I approach things, not much. I don't think. I don't think, apart from the title, nothing would change in how I would approach things. But there would be added responsibility a little bit into that. And like I said, for me at the minute, being the captain, the conscious effort is making sure the new lads feel comfortable in the surroundings, and obviously me growing up in Portsmouth, knowing the area, that might even just be, giving them kind of good areas to live, and just, I think, like I said, importantly, being there for the group, being there for their needs, and probably being that soundboard from the players and to the management team. And like I said, the gaffer's been really good. He wants leaders. He wants you to take ownership. He wants us as players to take ownership, and he wants it to be a lot of player led. So it's not going to be kind of like a dictatorship as such. He wants that buy-in from everyone, and I think when you get that, like I said, that's a good recipe for success.
Well, he named you as captain in his first game in charge, John Messinio. What's your relationship like with him, and how important is it to have a really good relationship with him?
He's been brilliant for me. Like I said, we spoke loads over the summer. We met over the summer. He's integrated me into kind of not just what a captain wants, but kind of what we're going to do, tactically, style of play, and like I said, he's the best part of it. He's not gone do this, do that. He's put it to the group, and I think from that you get players grow, players learn to take ownership, and also it takes out any kind of excuses and negativity, because ultimately, like I said, we're going to say no, we want to do this, and he's going to say near enough, okay, within reason, yeah, that's fine, but you've got to own it. So he's been great at that, and I think we've only been okay here for a couple of days, but we're already nailing down what we want to do next year, and I think there's going to be a real identity to us. Like I said, obviously on the pitch where it counts, but I think it's equally important to have the identity off the pitch, because those daily habits and, like I said, that culture and the environment, I think, helps you win games of football. And
as well as the gaffer, his staff as well, John, Zesh, Dan,
Yeah.
Joe, the medal team, sports science team, and everyone associated with the first team and the wider club. How key is it to have a good relationship with them?
Yeah, I think it's probably been, since the official appointments have come in. I think you see a real togetherness with the staff, and us as players, seeing them have that relationship is great. And because every decision they've made, they've come to a collective agreement, and it's not one where you're getting at mixed messages, which as players great. You want clarity, and I think they've given us, clarity in an abundance since they come in, and that's already shown since we come back from pre-season. We're going to have a lot of clarity in what we're going to do, in and out of possession, especially.
How are you finding pre-season so far? Just to touch on where we are right now with the background, we're in Spain. How you find it?
Yeah, obviously it looks nice. It probably looks nicer than how it feels. Listen, like I said, I think more importantly, for the team bonding and all those bits that most people won't see. They might see it a little bit in the footage that you do. I think that's been the main thing. But listen, it's been a tough day where my Apple Watch had died. That's how tough it's been. Yeah, we've been up running since 7. It's been a kind of Tripoli session today. But that's when you get to really dig and test people's characters, and that's part of pre-season. It's not all like doom and gloom. It's not all physical. It's been some really good, like I said, tactical output. And like I said, I love it. I think these are key. We're only here for a short period of time, but I think since the gaffer's come in, he's been adamant of like when we're into work, and like you said, you've seen it more than anyone that the lads have put really good shift in, come back in fantastical physical condition, which most players do nowadays anyway, and I think that's going to be key to how we want to play.
When we talk about culture, is the gaffer getting you up at 7 p.m. to go on a 2-mile jog all part of that? Probably,
yeah. I mean, it's definitely I maybe a bit of a. He definitely has probably, I'd say, old school values in a kind of new era, new coaching method. So he's probably a modern day coach with old school values, and he probably aligns to where I see things as well, and that's why I think I get on really well with him. And that's probably an era thing. Probably grew up playing in the same era, so that's why I agree. I generally think, like, get up at the crack of dawn, get out, go for a run, test you. You kind of trying to want no moaners in the group, and I definitely think it's a lot of a mental test at times, and obviously also the physical output as well you're putting in. Like I said, it's part. We've all gone through pre-seasons where there's days where they want to test you mentally and physically.
Now, you touched on it earlier. How have the new lads settled in so far? Obviously, we've got 9 through the door so far. How have they been in and around the group?
Listen, I think it's first and foremost great to have that many players in so early, especially to all come out on the strip. I think obviously last year when we went out to, obviously I know it was a different time at the club, but I think it was only me and Zach Swanson would have been, so like I said, first and foremost to get to know and to bond as a team, that's great, and obviously I'd imagine also from the management to be able to kind of influence how they want to play with the new lads, for them to understand how we want to play. But they've got on really well. They've probably been, like I said, I think the gaffer touched on it in one of his early speeches. Yeah, I think it's a decent group to integrate to. We've got some really good lads here. Got a good balance now, I think, in regards of experience. Probably that good age group of around 25, 26, and also some young lads. So there's a real good balance to the squad. Also probably helps that there's been so many of them, so they've all come at the same time, and they've also obviously they've got an understanding of each other. They know all. They're probably all shacked up in the hotel together. So I think it's been good for them, and hopefully they've made it. They've enjoyed it, and we've made it easy for them to transition to the club.
When you look back at those who have been named Portsmouth captain, who have worn the armband for Pompey, how does that feel when you look at those names?
Yeah, do you know what? I actually haven't, until you just asked that question, I haven't looked at it from that perspective, and obviously in recent years, obviously the most successful one in theory, you go Sol Campbell, lifted the FA Cup, Paul Merson when we won Div 1. Yeah, to kind of be in that category. Yeah, that probably won't sink in a little bit to maybe after, when I look back at my career and look at all the stuff I've done, and take away any kind of major honours or trophies as such. This will be right up there in terms of accolades and, you know, captain in my hometown club.
And just one final one, how much are you going to embrace the challenge and excitement of being Portsmouth captain?
I think you have to, don't you? I think, like I said, this is something that I wanted. I mean, I won't beat around the bush and say I didn't want this. I definitely wanted this, and obviously you need to step up to the plate. There's added pressure to it, which is, you know, which I'll relish. And we'll go back to the 6-year-old and thinking about, you know, it's a massive year for the football club. I don't need to come on here and say the ambitions for the club. I think we all know. But for me to, you know, if we are successful this year and I'm captain, for me that will, you know, potentially go down in history. Like I said, for my family, it does mean that extra bit more. And sometimes you can't really put it into words. So I can sit here and try and dress it all up, but I think people of Portsmouth that support Portsmouth will understand. You're a Portsmouth fan, you'll understand. Like, this is generally every Pompey's boy dream. So to be able to live that is great, but and also I have to step up to the challenge, and, you know, that's what I will know is that at times I will fail, but I will give 100% every time. I have done every time I've pulled on the shirt, so that, you know, that I won't fall short in that department. And like I said, it's one that, you know, I'm kind of really looking forward to now. I've been captain at every club I've played for, not officially, but I've led the side out. But, you know, this is the first time I've officially been made club captain. So, like I said, it's a real honour, not just for me, obviously for my family as well, because they come week in, week out, and they share the brunt of it as much as we all do when we don't win a game. So, listen, you know, I'm hoping for it to be a really successful season. And like I said, if I can lead the boys to success and lead the team out, yeah, that would be a real dream come true.
Well, Marlon, we're really pleased for you. Congratulations, mate.
Cheers, Max. Cheers, mate.